Hello and welcome back to Jack Knives Reviews. I'm of course your host, Jack Knives. Today I'll be reviewing Poor Things. A brilliantly mad scientist named Dr. Goodwin brings a woman back to life, renaming her Bella Baxter. Bella, in a weird, childlike fancy, wants to get to know the world around her, which leads her down a rabbit hole of pushing societal norms, being bizarre, and being original, all while trying to figure out who she is and the world around her. Yorgos Lanthimos, besides sounding like the name of a Pokemon, actually does have an extensive resume of doing movies that are very unconventional and do play against societal norms. He made Dogtooth, which is extremely controversial, The Lobster, which I've praised multiple times, and this movie I would say is a little closer to The Lobster, but it's also got a lot of controversy behind it. The most off-putting thing is at the beginning of the movie. Which, if you're going to have something that controversial, I'm glad it's out in the open in the first place, so it gives the audience time to digest as the movie progresses. I won't say what it is, but it's odd, to say the least. And that's what this movie is. It's odd. It has a lot of Tim Burton-esque vibes. It feels otherworldly. The whole movie feels like it's in a painting, but not so much that it doesn't set its grounding in some fragment of reality. Obviously, it takes the concept from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but changes it to a woman. But it does a lot more than that. What if you took Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and My Fair Lady and put them together? And then you sprinkle a goth element to it. That's kind of what this movie is. Emma Stone steals the show as Bella Baxter. She is weird and hypnotic and odd and hilarious. Like, she was so damn funny. She was 100% like, what if Spock was a slapstick character? It's very logic. And the rest of the world's like, no, it's not quite like that. And it's funny seeing a woman who's just like this so fish out of water character in this kind of prim and proper kind of society. It was just really weirdly hilarious to me. I thought it was so funny. There were some moments that I felt dragged quite a bit. Mark Ruffalo, I loved seeing him just get ruffled all the time, was just hilarious to me. Because oftentimes when they have Mark Ruffalo cast in something, he's usually this aw shucks character or this eccentric, weird heartthrob. I'm like, are people really attracted to Mark Ruffalo? Okay. I loved Willem Dafoe as the mad scientist who created Bella, because he was so disfigured, but he was so like caring and thoughtful and nice. It was just so funny, the contrast of like this horribly mangled man just being like, hey, what are you gonna do? Like, there's so much funniness to this, but like, it's obviously dark humor. So if you like a kind of weird, eccentric dark humor, this movie's got you covered. I also will say I absolutely loved the visuals of it. I thought it was like so unique. It had its own identity that wasn't quite Victorian, but wasn't quite modern. And it had this very much weird dream sequence feel to it. I loved the visuals of it. It was extremely interesting. One of the downsides to the film, though, some of the cast felt like they were out of place as far as just the wrong cast. I don't know. I feel like a different actor in certain roles could have done better than the ones that they had in some roles, but they weren't major roles, so it was okay. Obviously, this movie is not for everyone. It's weird. It's bizarre. It's awkward. It's artsy. It's dark, but it's hilarious. The first 5 minutes of the movie will tell you if you're gonna like it or not. And personally, I was on board after the first 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, okay. And it's one of those kind of movies where you really just digest it. Like a weird meal at a restaurant you've never been to, and you just say to the waiter, pick something for me. That's this movie. For better or worse. I give Poor Things 3 out of 5. Have you seen Poor Things? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I'll see you next time.